New technology can explain the effect of genetic factors on brain structure, function. Liang Zhan, right-hand educator of electrical and PC designing at Pitt's Swanson School of Engineering, gotten a $500,000 career grant from the National Science Foundation to foster computational devices that work on our comprehension of the human cerebrum. In this venture, he will use cerebrum-secluded design to examine mind-imaging hereditary qualities and foster new computational apparatuses to enlighten what hereditary variables mean for cerebrum construction and capacity. Scientists can utilize this innovation to look at how explicit qualities, or their variations, influence neural frameworks and add to cerebrum problems. This work could eventually propel the fields of biomedical informatics, neuroscience, and information science. Zhan's group will explicitly contemplate Alzheimer's illness, a condition that right now influences 5.8 million Americans and is projected to almost significantly increase to 14 million individuals by 2060. There is no obvious proof to show how Alzheimer's sickness creates. Scientists are fostering an assortment of techniques to uncover the instruments behind Alzheimer's beginning and movement. However, there is an absence of successful computational apparatuses to contemplate this infection. Liang Zhan, assistant professor of electrical and computer engineering, Swanson School of Engineering, University of Pittsburgh. However, this work centers around Alzheimer's infection. The proposed devices can be applied to other cerebrum research also. Flow mind imaging hereditary qualities considers accept a coordinated direct connection among qualities and imaging highlights. However, linearity is excessively oversimplified and doesn't permit specialists to recognize significant level examples, clarified Zhan. Moreover, MRI research frequently centers around little districts of the cerebrum, which diminishes the intricacy of the imaging down to one measurement and disposes of significant data on mind elements. All things being equal, my gathering will zero in on describing more elevated level cerebrum network highlights, drawing an obvious conclusion with the human connectome. In a joint effort with the University of Illinois at Chicago, UIC, he will couple this career grant with two R01 awards from the National Institutes of Health to additionally examine mind work in neurological problems. Keeping up with fundamental mind work, like learning and memory, expects neurotransmitters to pass electrical and synthetic signs between neurons. Synaptic brokenness is a sign of numerous neurological problems, including Alzheimer's infection, and prompts hyperexcitation in neuronal circuits. Notwithstanding, neural organization changes identified with typical maturing make it hard for specialists to recognize infection-explicit modifications from ordinary changes. Related stories. New method recognizes explicit neural pathways associated with leader elements of the mind. Nanomaterials' physiochemical properties impact their capacity to infiltrate the blood-mind boundary. Exploration uncovers new class of neurons that connections face discernment to long-haul memory. Zhan and associates will foster imaginative computational devices to describe hyperexcitation designs in maturing and Alzheimer's disease and approve their system with longitudinal mouse models and human information from the Alzheimer's Disease Neuroimaging Initiative and the Human Connectome Project. The cerebrum needs to have a harmony between neural excitation and hindrance, said Zhan. The synaptic brokenness in Alzheimer's infection prompts hyperexcitation in neuronal circuits, and this unusual equilibrium may add to illness beginning and movement. The hyperexcitation marker, high, characterized utilizing multimodal MRI information, will flag an awkwardness between neural excitation and restraint. Adding to the intricacy of this exploration, other mental conditions might be critical supporters of sped-up psychological decay and movement to dementia. Zhan will team up on one more R01 at UIC to inspect late-life wretchedness and uncover its effect on neurodegeneration. They will apply a comparative way to deal with this examination and explain the connection among wretchedness and neurodegenerative cycles in late life. A fundamental report showed the viability of the gathering's hyperexcitation. We coordinated with psychologically typical people with a hereditary inclination to Alzheimer's infection with a gathering of people without a hereditary inclination, in view old enough in sex, said Zhan. The outcomes upheld the possibility that hereditarily inclined ladies, who are 4 times bound to foster Alzheimer's sickness than men, shown hyperexcitation at age 50, and our strategy was more touchy at of distinguishing this distinction. The objective of this work is to speed up the revelation of more hardy, non-intrusive imaging biomarkers of Alzheimer's illness and other neurological issues.